All right, good afternoon, everyone. So today we're
Good
going to be...
afternoon, Miss Kelly.
Good afternoon. Today we're going to be starting a new lesson. I'm going to present my screen to you guys. All right. Okay, so we're going to be starting digital posters. And we're going to be talking about pop art today. Has anyone heard of pop art before?
No.
No? Okay. So, pop art is an art movement from the late 1950s, and it continued throughout the 60s and into the 70s.
Oh, basically a comic.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to talk about comics today. So pop art is like really bright colors and really bold lines, which is seen in a lot of comics. So what made this art movement really popular was it was really easy to reproduce the artwork because there was a lot of art that was made with stamps. So on the right-hand side, we have like a picture of Marilyn Monroe. And she's a bunch of different colors. Like there's a red one, a green one, a pink one, right? So what the artist did was he would just paint on the stamp and then just press it into paper, and it was really easy to do. But I mean, he made the stamp himself, but painting it was easy. So it was a lot different than traditional art where the artist could just paint one painting and it took a really long time to do, and there was just one copy. So comic books, they were around before pop art started, but they really got extremely popular during this time because the artwork correlated with what the other artists were doing. So you guys know the Marvel movies, like the Marvel superheroes?
Yes, I know that the front it does the pop art.
Do you know who created Marvel?
Stan Lee.
Okay, so Stan Lee was the writer of the Marvel comics, but our artist today is named Jack Kirby, and he was the illustrator of the Marvel comics. So he was known as like the king of comics. He started working for Marvel in like the 1930s, and he worked with Stan Lee, and so Stan Lee created these characters, but Jack Kirby really brought them to life because he took the image Stan Lee thought they should look like and he made it. So he made Iron Man, Thor, the Incredible Hulk, the Fantastic Four, Avengers, all of those. And then once Jack Kirby decided he was done with Marvel, he moved to DC Comics, which is like Batman and Superman. So he created a lot of the superheroes that we see today. So if you take a look at some examples of Jack Kirby's artwork, there's a lot of like bright colors and bold lines. So in this picture in the top left corner, there's like, I think he threw a punch or there's a blast or something, right? Because we can tell without even reading the captions. Because it's a bright flash of white and then it ombres out into darker colors. And there's a lot of lines coming out of it that show movement. So what we're doing today is we are going to pick one of our favorite TV characters, movie characters. I know a lot of you guys like anime. You can pick someone from anime if you want. You could pick food, drink, technology. And we're going to be creating posters, and we're going to be inspired by Jack Kirby and pop art. So we want to incorporate a lot of bright colors and bold lines, okay? So can anybody like point out what they see the most in these posters? Like what stands out to you?
Wonder Woman.
What was that?
Wonder Woman.
Like the color of it?
Yes, it was very bright.
Yeah, the colors are really bright, right? And even in this bottom one, we can tell that the lady's pressing down on the hairspray or the spray because the lines are coming out of it, right? And then these are just some examples. You guys can take ideas from these backgrounds to use for your posters. And then if you want to do a word like this boom, you could do that too. And then in the top right corner, this is by Keith Haring. He's another pop art artist. And his figures are really, really simple, right? There's no faces, no nothing, just a little character. But he has the really dark, bold lines that define like movement, so you can tell that the characters are dancing. So you could do something even as simple as that, okay? So now I'm just going to show you my example. So I made a hot dog. I have my bright colors in the background, and then I have a pop of white behind my hot dog just to really show my item. And then I have bold black lines defining and outlining all of my objects, okay? So what I want you guys to do first is I want to do a little brainstorming. I want you guys to think of one idea. I want you to do one sketch. So we're going to do paper and pencil. And it could be just a tiny little sketch like I have here. It's just small, there's no color or anything. Just to get me thinking about what I want my poster to look like, okay? So I'll give everyone a couple minutes to do that. Does anyone have any questions right now? All right. Yeah, of course. Okay, so right now what everyone is doing is just coming up with a quick sketch of what you want to do for your poster. So you could pick anything to be the subject of your poster. All right, so this is an example of my quick sketch. All right, so it's just on a small piece of paper. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And we're just using paper and pencil right now.
I'm not at home right now, so I don't.
Okay, you don't have paper and pencil right now?
No.
Okay, no problem. What I'll do is in the Google Classroom, I'll post the exact directions, okay? So when you get home, you
Okay.
can work on it.
Alright, thank you. I can't sketch it because I don't have a paper next to me.
Okay, then just in your head, think of what you want to use for your poster, okay? Think of like colors.
Okay.
Does anybody want to share their ideas of what they're gonna do for their poster?
I can share in a couple minutes.
Okay, no problem. Okay. We're gonna take like 2 more minutes, guys, and then I'm gonna show you the next step. Oh yeah, that looks great. And now just think of like what color you want to use, like yellows, blues, red, green. Yeah, but you can use shapes. I feel like pop art has a lot of like triangles in it. So you could do shapes in your background. Yeah, Kishan, like it always has like the bright pop. Like, yeah, that looks good. Alright, guys, I'm gonna send a link. So if everyone could look at my screen, I'm gonna show you guys how to use that website, okay? Okay, so when you click on that link, it's gonna bring you to this website. It's called Sumo Paint. And now when it first opens up, everyone has a horizontal canvas, right? So you can make your poster horizontal and you could just leave it like this. But if you want to make yours vertical going up and down, we can change the size. So on the right-hand side, right, it says info, and then it says image name, and then it says image size. And right underneath image size, there's a bunch of numbers. So you want to click on that. And then we want to change the size. So in order for your page to go up and down vertically, we want our width to be smaller than our height. So I'm going to change the size of my width. I'm just going to make it a little smaller, probably like around 500. It doesn't have to be any exact numbers. And then I'm going to change my height. I want my height to be bigger. So I'm going to increase it to around 700. And then I'm going to hit OK. And now our canvas is up and down vertically, right? So now how do we draw on here? Well, on the left-hand side, we have a whole bunch of tools. And we can change the color right above the tools. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to click on color. And I want to find like a bright color. So we have this rainbow here. I'm going to probably go for like a pink right now. Pinkish purple. And in order to change my color to the bright pink purple, in the box that is next to the rainbow, it starts off black at the bottom. And then on the left side, it goes to white in the very left corner. And then on the right side, it goes to that bright pink purple color. So in the very, very bottom corner on the left, there's a tiny little circle. So you want to click on it. And if you drag it around, you can pick any color you want in that box. So I'm going to put mine in the very top right corner because I want it to be as bright as it can be. And once I move my circle there, I'm going to hit OK. And now we have to pick a tool that we want to use with it. So there's a ton of different tools to choose from. I personally liked using the paintbrush tool to make mine. So I'm going to click on the paintbrush tool. It is the third one down on the right side. And then I'm just going to color. And I just color it in, right? And you guys can change the size of the paintbrush. If you go up to color and then to the right, it says diameter. You click on that, and if you pull the bar to the right, it gets nice and big. And if you pull the bar to the left, it gets really little. Also, there's a pen tool. It's right next to the paintbrush, and it makes smaller lines. There's also a pencil tool, and it makes a little bit bigger lines than the pen tool, right? So if we want to undo any of our lines or we make a mistake while we are doing this, in the very top right corner, there is a little back button. And you click on it, and it undoes whatever you just did. And back to the tools, we have a bunch of shapes. So you can always put shapes in your background, or it could help you make your object. But in order to change the color of the shape so it's not just black, in the very middle of your page, at the top, it says fill. You click on that, and then you go to color, and we change the color the exact same way we just did for our paintbrush. And now your star will be filled with whatever color you choose. All right, and there's one last tool I want to show you guys. It's like this little flower looking button. You click on it. I'm going to change my color so you can see it. And once you click on your page, it's going to be 6 dots instead of just 1. And whatever you do with the 1 dot, it's going to mirror onto the 6 others. So it could help you create lines in your background that are all the same. So if I drag my mouse, it creates more lines going across. See? So this could help you guys create your backgrounds. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and allow you guys to work the rest of the period. Yeah, Sharon, if you have a different app that you think can do the same thing, you could try it out. And just keep in mind, guys, pop art is bright colors and bold lines, okay? Does anybody need any help right now? We're all okay using the website?
What do you do for the lines for the star to change? Like,
Sure.
what do you do for the star to change color?
Okay, I'll show you my screen. Okay. All right, so we want to make a star, right? So I'm going to click on my star tool. And then we go up where we changed our color originally, right? And if we go all the way to the right, it's called fill. And now if you click on there, there's going to be fill type, color. We want to click on color. And now, the same way we picked our color in the beginning, we're going to do it again. So we're just going to put our little circle on whatever color we want. And then once you find the color you want, you hit OK. And now your star should be filled with the color you just chose, okay? Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I share?
Of course. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good. You had all the bright colors and primary colors in there. The only suggestion I have is maybe adding a couple of like dark or black lines in, and you could really show some movement in there.
Okay.
All right, but otherwise it looks great. How's everyone else? Does anyone else want to show what they have so far? Alright guys, we only have a couple minutes left, and I just want to show you guys how to save your image when you're done. So if everyone could just look at my screen just one more time today. Okay, so when you are done, right at the top it says Paint, and right next to it, it says File. You want to scroll down to Export. Then you click on Export. It says Name. Just name it, give it your name. So mine's Kelly. And then it says Format. So you want to pick the second option, the JPG option, okay? JPEG. And now you click on it and you hit Save, and it's going to save the image directly to your computer, all right? And if you weren't able to finish it within the class time and you want to work on it later, just make sure you keep the tab open. Don't close it so you won't lose your work. All right, everyone, we'll see you next week. Please make sure to hand in your sketch and your final poster onto Google Classroom.